I learned to love Saint Joseph during my first visit to the Carmelite Institute of Notre-Dame de Vie in Venasque, France. On the way from the chapel to the dining room one morning, my attention was completely arrested by this statue. Often statues depict Saint Joseph presenting Christ to the world. But here was something also true. I was struck by Saint Joseph's height and strength. He is dressed like a medieval woodsman with a large felling axe in his right hand. All this powerful manliness is contrasted with the tender support of the sleeping Christ. It is a perfect picture of love and trust. Christ even has his fingers tangled in Saint Joseph's beard, as any child might do. As I stood there, I imagined what it would be like to hold the toddler Jesus like that, and I suddenly felt my own unworthiness. I love babies, but to hold a baby that is also God? And my soul had a moment like St. Peter in the boat when he realizes that Christ is not like other men and says, "Go away from me, Lord, I am a sinful man." But Christ brought a memory into my mind. When my nephew Elias was a toddler, before he was even speaking, he was very aware of others, especially people who were sitting alone or outside the group somehow. I remember walking with him past the loading dock of a resort dining room, and he quickly ran away from me toward a man who was just standing there having a smoke break. There was nothing colorful or inviting about this man. He was sweaty and exhausted from washing dishes or standing over the hot fryers. But Elias was somehow curious about him and wanted to meet him. And I was reminded of another situation. Perhaps you have been in this situation too, where you're at a family's house and a toddler who moments before was too shy to even say hello at the door will suddenly choose you as a playmate by bringing a ball over to show you. You have the opportunity in that moment to carry on with adult conversation or stop and enter into the child's play and become who the child wants you to be in that moment. There are other times when a child chooses an unlikely adult, like a prim elderly aunt or the pizza delivery man. It's not about what we see in that person, but what the child sees. In the same way, Saint Joseph isn't great because he thought of himself as the obvious choice or had all the right skills perfectly prepared, but because God chose him and he said yes. Yes to setting aside his own plans, and yes to learning how to become what the Virgin Mary and soon Jesus needed him to be. Here I think of another Saint Joseph statue from the grounds of Notre-Dame de Vie. Here we have again a sleeping Jesus, but now a Joseph who looks to be carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Precious Lord, take my hand.
Surely he had plenty of those moments too.
Let me stand.
All the unrecorded moments where he chose to keep saying yes, and day by day became who the child Jesus needed him to be. He became the man God saw he had it in him to become. By his daily obedience and love in an infinity of small yeses, he thereby became a model and a guide for all of us as well. A protector of the church, a patron, a saint.
When my way grows drear, precious Lord,
you did not choose me, but I have chosen you, the Lord Jesus said.
my life is almost gone.
By faith and by baptism, we belong to Him,
Hear my call.
whether we are the predictable, run-of-the-mill sort of folks or truly unexpected
Lest
candidates.
I fall, precious Lord, take my
So this
hand
Advent, we are once again preparing to receive the Christ child in our arms. And whether we are worthy is not the point. The child is choosing us.
when the
Our only choice is whether we will enter in,
appears
to take up that ball and play.
night draws near, and the day
And day by day, we will slowly become who Christ wants us to be.
at the river I stand. Guide my feet, hold my hand, precious Lord. Take my hand and lead